Hey Bremerton, Josh Farley with the Kitsap Sun out at the new M&T Coffee stand off of Chico Way. I'm going to tell you all about this new business along with my usual 6 stories.
Oh, Josh, it's not 6 stories, 5 stories.
Oh, my cameraman Aaron Martin is so right. 5 stories that you just got to know about happening in Bremerton this week. Welcome back to this edition of the Bremerton Beat Blast, sponsored by the Admiral Theater. Story number 1 today, we begin with news that Silverdale Way, as many of you know, is torn up. Kitsap County, in an $11 million project, is reconstructing the roadway and adding wider lanes and sidewalks to it. Here's where things stand and when you can expect to be zipping through Silverdale again.
We are working on utilities right now, getting the electrical, the bases for the light poles, and doing a lot of the concrete work. The big component of our project, as you can see across the street, is the construction of our retaining walls. When we're done, we will have a 5-lane section, 2 southbound, 2 northbound, still have the center return lane, but we'll also have the bike lanes, 8-foot sidewalks, and planter strips to provide a buffer from the pedestrians to the actual traffic itself.
Story number 2 today. Okay, coffee lovers, this is an update just for you. M&T Coffee has just opened right here off of Chico Way in the space formerly occupied by Simply Sublime, which has closed its locations in Bremerton and on Chico Way.
You know, we tried to fight for it. We opened a GoFundMe, did a spaghetti feed. We did everything we could to save it and salvage, you know, Simply Sublime, but it just didn't turn out that way. And so we kind of, at the end, had to go our own separate paths.
We heard about it mostly because of the baristas that we had coming to apply at our other shop. You know, we kind of looked at what we could do, and it was really a good chance. You know, it's a win-win for business for us, and then also it was a chance to save 9 jobs for people who were working here.
It's been amazing transition. They've welcomed us with open arms.
I think the sky's the limit, and that's kind of how we approach this as well. You got to dream big, and I think that's what we're doing.
Story number 3 today, more housing is coming to Bremerton. Kitsap Sun reporter Christian Vossler reported this past week that a new 152-lot subdivision of duplexes is coming to McWilliams Road near Pine Road. Meanwhile, 38 homes are being developed at the end of Sylvan Way in a view property overlooking the Port Washington Narrows. This goes with the nearly 500 homes that are expected to be constructed as part of the East Park neighborhood and the hundreds more homes that are planned for the Bay Vista and the West Hills area of Bremerton. Story number 4 today, Bremerton's iconic Hammerhead crane has greeted visitors and residents to Bremerton alike for more than 7 decades. This past Sunday in the Kitsap Sun, reporter Julianne Stanford did a deep dive into its history, finding out lots of cool facts, including why it is painted green.
It's one of the first things you see when arriving in Bremerton on a ferry. The massive green Hammerhead crane towering above Puget Sound Naval Shipyard's waterfront. The crane is as tall as a 25-story building and weighs 2,400 tons. The crane can rotate all the way around, which takes about 6 minutes for a 360-degree rotation. The crane's green color was likely the original one, chosen for its anti-corrosion and weathering properties. The yellow 28 painted on the side is the crane's identification number. This is what it looks like today from the inside of one of the Navy's last few remaining Hammerhead cranes. The Dravo Company of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania built the crane in 1933 at a cost of almost $500,000. It was constructed during the Great Depression with funding from a New Deal program. It cost about $110 an hour to operate. The crane could lift up to 350 tons. Throughout the decades, the crane repaired and refitted countless ships, ranging from World War II-era battleships to modern nuclear-powered aircraft carriers and submarines. The crane retired from service on September 8, 1994.
Story number 5 this week, Seattle Children's Hospital and some local organizations gave out hundreds of free gun lock boxes and trigger locks at an event at Sportsman's Warehouse on Saturday. The multi-year effort is part of the hospital's hope that such safety measures can help decrease the number of children and teens injured by gunfire each year in the state of Washington.
We think about it as layers of protection for kids. Just like you put a life jacket on to go out on the water, you put a seatbelt on, you put a bike helmet on. When you lock up your firearm, you are creating a layer of protection that reduces the risk of injury and death, keeps people safe.
That's it for our show this week. Hope you have a great rest of your week, Bremerton. Music for this week's Bremerton Beat Blast was performed by the legendary local musician Al Alto. You can see Al Alto perform on most Tuesday nights at Brother Don's as part of Jeff Tassin's Songwriter Showcase.